Hello everyone, hope you're having a good start to 2021. I'm Tuggy from SunnyCon Expo and I'm here to update you on the current events with the pandemic and our event. So you may notice that we've added an extra section to our website called COVID Updates and I'm here to expand on that. So I'm going to start off with vaccine numbers, and we are going on what the government has given us as to their estimates, and we have to use them to figure out what we're going to do. Now, the government's here that they want to get all vulnerable people, up to 14 million people, vaccinated by mid-February, and hopefully by the end of this lockdown, be that at the beginning of March or end of March, we should get a concrete figure of how we're going to do going forward. So what we've got is the government's here that they want to vaccinate 2 million people every week, which is already being said that it might be a bit of an overreach or an overestimate of numbers, especially as doses are still being processed, and the process from getting doses to doctors and hospitals and vaccine centres, there's a lot of logistics in there. I'm not going to pretend to be some sort of medical professional here. Like I say, I'm just going to go on what the government has given us. And given that we are now 24 weeks away from SunnyCon Anime Expo, figuratively going on 2 million per week, that would mean that there are going to be 48 million people vaccinated out of a total population of 66 million. Now, there is a huge asterisk to be put there on that figure, because we know that most of the vaccines that are currently available in the United Kingdom are ones that need 2 doses for full protection. And not only that, but once you have had your second dose, it is said that it takes up to 3, maybe 4 weeks before you can get full immunity from the virus. So this number that they're giving are 14 million people vaccinated. That could be 14 million single vaccinations for people, which means that that could be 14 million people who are not fully vaccinated properly against the virus. And therein we have our issues. So given on this number that the government's provided us, we can estimate and kind of try to figure out how many of these people would have had like a second dose, or if these vaccines have been counted as vaccines or people. It's not been really clear that much at the moment. That's led to a lot of confusion for us, and what we need as an event which has thousands of people in attendance, we'd need some kind of clarity. And unfortunately at this moment in time, we don't have much clarity at all, and we have to go on guesses of estimates of numbers that could be kind of bent and fudged. Like I say, if the government turns around and says we want to get 14 million people vaccinated, that could just mean 14 million people have one single dose of the vaccine as opposed to both doses, and we know that they're trying to stretch out the second dose for as long as possible while the vaccine stocks are replenished and put up to a certain level. So thinking about it in that way, if somebody say gets vaccinated in February and then they have to wait, like I think the estimate is as long as 3 months until the second dose, then you've got February, March, April, May when they get the second dose, and then they've got to wait another 3 to 4 weeks, which puts it right next to SunnyCon, and that's for the most vulnerable in society. So we are taking that, and we can't take risks. We can't take risks for anybody. Everybody must have had both doses of the vaccine before they can go out and attend events. And that's what's leading to a lot of worry and a lot of stress on our end. So with all of that said, you've got to remember that our demographic is mainly 18 to 30-year-olds who are right down the pecking order for vaccines. So we've got to consider that the majority of our attendees might not actually be fully vaccinated by the time SunnyCon 2021 rolls around. So another side of it is the behind the scenes side, and this is the actual business side of running the event. Now, we usually have many months of preparation, and unfortunately this will give us very little run up, as we don't know when this lockdown will end. They're saying end of February, beginning of March, but that time frame isn't really suitable enough for us to actually get everything planned, prepared and fully financed. And without those things, the event can't go ahead anyway. So we've got to look into that as a huge variable as whether we can run or not. And at the moment, it's just not looking good. There's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. There's a lot of uncertainty around things that we need to make the event. Like I say, we need to plan and prepare. We need to pay for hotels. We need to pay for the venue. We need to pay for guest flights. Also pay for merchandise, designs, any other things that we need that are really integral to the event. All of this stuff would need to be come together and done within the space of like 1 or 2 months, potentially. So we don't know. Like you say, there's a lot of uncertainty around that, and then we go to things like what guidelines would be in place, if any guidelines are in place, if the immunity's there, if the immunity's not there. As I say, we are absolutely confuddled by it all at the moment, and it's not giving us a solid base that we can say, right, we are certain for what we have here as parameters and to run the event with that. And the uncertainty, especially around ticket sales, like I say, we need finance, and it's understandable. Nobody wants to buy a ticket when everything's uncertain, and even after that, the whole pandemic has shaken people, and some people might not be comfortable with going to events so early. So we've got that to factor in as well. And if we can't pay for things, then we obviously can't run the event either. So there's that to take into consideration as well. So as you can see, there's a lot of play at the moment, and it can seem like an uphill task for 2021 to go ahead. We're just trying to be as realistic as possible, and we don't want to get your hopes up. I'd love to have been stood here and to say that 2021, our 10th anniversary, we'd be able to celebrate. Unfortunately, things just haven't went the way that we've wanted. However, that said, if it all does go askew, all tickets will be moved, all table bookings will be moved to 2022 date, and we can look forward then. Whatever happens in the near future, and whenever we do go ahead, we want to make sure that your safety is paramount. Everybody who attends SunnyCon Anime Expo, your safety is our #1 priority, and we don't want to put you in any harm's way. So please, all we ask is please be patient. There's going to be a lot of discussions in the upcoming weeks, and we'll have a more solid view round about March time for our next announcement. Thank you all, and stay safe.